Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. It's time for another live stream. Today is Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. July 16th, 2021. We made it to the end of the week, guys. Welcome. I'm celebrating Friday with a big ice cold glass of Noon. I got the mango orange today. It's my second glass of Noon for today because it's a hot one. It got hot back here in Iowa again. Took the kids down to the local kind of playground area, and it's not a long walk, but just that was enough to get me like super hot. And I did have a long run this morning, long-ish run, 11 miles. And, I did bring a lot of fluid with me, but I was just parched when I got back nonetheless. And so just enjoying a lot of rehydration for today. How you guys doing? Everyone listening on the audio version, hopefully you guys are doing well. And everyone watching on YouTube after the fact, hopefully it's a point in your evening where you can have a recovery beverage of your choice, or maybe something a little bit stronger if that's what you're into. All right, let's see who's here. We got Vincent here, says good afternoon, Cohen friends, and Albert Lillick says Friday. Congrats on hitting 80,000 subs, Co. Yeah, I finally overnight, the channel finally hit 80,000 subscribers. Which is weird because I feel like I've been at like 79,000 for a really long time. Like, I hope that like something's not wrong. So like for whatever reason, perhaps because, I don't know, maybe it's summertime and people aren't watching as much, or maybe it's because I'm not focusing on more like marathon training or shoes or whatever the case may be. It seemed like things really slowed down once it got to like 79,000 and then like screeching halt, and then finally just peaked over 80. So like we're finally there. It's not something I was super like worried about, but it was just kind of weird. But I'm glad to finally have crested that summit. Thomas Villa says, yo, what's going on? And Tiba says, howdy all, happy Friday. JC says, hey, it's Friday again. Yeah, I came once again. Mile 62 running channel is here. Good to see you again. As is Rob Shooter. And Adam wants to know, why is it so dark? Sometimes I put the light on behind me, sometimes I don't. Today I forgot to put the light on behind me. That's all it is. Albert is, for his recovery beverage today, is having black coffee. I just had some coffee, so I'm like switching back and forth. And Vincent's having some sweet tea. Nice. Martha, what's going on? Martha says, guess what FedEx delivered just now? Aurora BLs. Whoa, interesting. She says it's an incredible fit, upper and lacing, bouncy, stable, and like the reviews all say. She's only tried it in the living room though. Crazy light. You want them, trust me. I don't know. I held them in my hand when I was in Baltimore. I looked at the one that Thomas had, and I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that one's for me. But I mean, now I'm a lot more interested in if you're saying that you like them, because we tend to like a lot of the same shoes. So maybe I should have like taken a closer look at those. I kind of wrote them off as kind of just being like a weird, Brooks version of like the Brooks like Hold My Beer shoe to compare with the 10.9, with Hoka. So I was just like, I don't know about this, but maybe there's something there to it. G No Days Off says, hey Co, hi from the East Coast. It's 95 degrees. What? That's hot. Because on the East Coast, not only does it get hot, it gets humid. So that's a lot. And G No Days Off says, just signed up for my first backyard ultra. Very cool. That backyard, I mean, when people say backyard ultra, what is that? Does that literally mean you're doing one in your backyard? Or is it like a self-supported, like do it yourself? What does that mean when people say backyard ultra? Or is that like an event? I don't know what that means. I'm interested though. Daniel Chan says, TGIF and greetings from Singapore. Congratulations on the 80,000 subs, mate. You've been an inspiration. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll drink to that. David Miller says, for his recovery drink, he's having a Sprite. He had an interval run today. I haven't had Sprite in a long time. I missed that drink. It was like one of the few sodas we would have sometimes in our house growing up. We didn't have a lot, but every once in a while, if we did, it would be soda. It would be Sprite. But my mom would always call it 7-Up. I don't know. That's something a random memory that I have. Road to the Tape says, what's good, Kofuzi? What's going on? Good to see ya. And Jan says, you need to run an 80K now? No, I'm not going to run an 80K. I'll wait for 100K. So But speaking of subs, Adam says, I watch but don't subscribe. Sorry, I'm good on that. That's okay. I feel like as long as the views are there, like I'm not overall that concerned about like the subscriber number, because I feel like if you watch something, YouTube will feed it to you and you'll see it, and so like it'll come up. And so I'm usually not too concerned about like that subscriber number. Maybe that's a luxury of being at 80 now, or like, once I got to like 30 or 40, I kind of stopped paying attention to it. But, yeah. But I think that like YouTube knows if you've had people that are watching. And so I think that subscriber number becomes less and less important. All right, we got a super chat here. Thomas Villa says, some 80K love. Oh, thank you so much, Thomas. It's very generous. It's one of those things where, I try not to focus on it too much, but I also try not to like take it for granted, because it is a milestone. So thank you guys. Thanks for getting me to take a moment and think about it and appreciate it. Well, thank you. All right. So for Gino's Days Off says his Backyard Ultra is a 4.167 mile loop. And it says it's usually a small loop. And Isaac says also you're running loops. And and he says the loop starts new at the top of every hour. Oh, okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. I think I've seen something like that before. Awesome. Cool. I like that idea. I think like the small loops are nice, and the on the hour thing is nice too. I think that's a better like event. It's a more communal event, So I kind of like that. Andrew says, hi, Kofuzi. Considering buying the Zoomfly 3, I think they will work well for me and seem like a training version of the Vaporfly. And do you think running a half marathon at 13 is a good idea? I think running a half marathon at 13 is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think for some races, you might need like basically like a permission slip or something like that. But I don't think there's anything like necessarily wrong with the distance that would make it not a great idea. The Zoomfly 3, it was a good shoe. Some people thought it was really heavy. I thought that React, when it's that thick, sometimes can bother like the pads of my feet sometimes, and that one did for me at times. So I prefer the Zoomfly Flyknit version 2 more than version 3. But I would say, I remember thinking when I first tried the Zoomfly 3, I think the Zoomfly 3 is closer to the next percent than the Zoomfly 2 is to the 4%, if that makes any sense. So like, I do think that like there are some training similarities there. Dwight WJR says, what watch are you wearing? I got 2 on right now. Wahoo Element Rival and then the Polar Vantage V2. Still wrapping up some test. Well, I think I'm pretty much done testing. I have as much information as I need. I've just got to collect my thoughts and then put the video together. It takes a while to make a watch video. I don't know if it's just I'm not as good at it or not as creative at it. Some people make really great watch videos. I think mine are all kind of okay. I like them, but they're all just a lot. It takes me a lot of work. I mean, I think I'm happy with the product when I make a watch video, but like it just seems to take more bang for that buck to get there, if that makes sense. All right. Martha says about the Aurora BL. To me, they look no weirder than the Next Percent and Hoka's did when they first came out. And from above, not weird at all. Yeah, the heel's pretty wild, but feels good. And it's true to size. Always important to know the true size. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Well, I don't know that I'm going to get to it this year. If they like iterate on it, then I'll take a look at it, I think. I'm just not so sure. All right. Minu Air says, for my first carbon plates, do you suggest I pick Metaspeed Sky, Vaporfly Next Percent 2, Endorphin Pro 2, or Adios Pro 2? Love from India. Of those, my favorite are, I mean, those are all great options. I think for your first carbon plated shoe, I think it's hard not to recommend like one of the Nike ones. So either the Next Percent or the Alpha Fly, because I feel like when people, it's kind of like they're almost archetypal in a way, or paradigmatic, or they're standard bearers, I think. But that being said, my favorites right now are the Adios Pro. I haven't tried the Adios Pro 2 yet. I have them at home, but just haven't gotten to put any miles in it. But I like the Adios Pro 1 and the Metaspeed Sky. So those are 2 of my favorites. But I would probably say for your first, I don't think the Vaporfly Next Percent is a bad idea. It's probably a pretty good idea. All right. The chat just jumped on me, so it looks like I need to I have some catching up to do. All right. Isaac Rubenstein says, what 100K do you want to run the most? Right now, I'm looking at Black Canyon. That's in February. I think the time of year will make sense because I'll be running CIM in early December. So then that gives me time to recover. It's kind of a quick turnaround, but I'm not looking to break any records or even place in my age group for that. I just want to cross the line before the cutoff and just have a really fun time. And I think that that Black Canyon in February will be pretty close to when I hit 100,000 subscribers. So that's kind of where I'm thinking about it. So that's one. And I like the terrain in Arizona. I've run in Arizona and some of the trails, mostly only in the Phoenix area, frankly. But I like that area, and I think I have an idea of kind of what to expect over there. So I know it's not going to be like running in the Scottsdale suburbs, but I think I have a sense of kind of what I'm getting into, and I like that kind of terrain. So that's why I'm thinking about Black Canyon. All right, Adam, with the Hard Rock update. Yeah, it started this morning. Francois Dehen leading at 28.8 and 5:43, and Dalter for the female 5th overall at 4:32 at 19.7 miles. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I didn't, like Courtney Dauwalter is like hard to discount. She's living at elevation. I think that's higher than where Hard Rock starts. And so like, how do you counter her out? But then this is her first Hard Rock. So that makes me think like, I don't know, is she going to go after it too hard? I don't know. I'll be interesting to follow. Thank you for the update, Adam. Cool. Martha says, trying to decide which shoes to wear in a 4-mile race next weekend. Endorphin Speeds or Hyperion Tempo. Haven't tried the speeds for a race yet. For a 4-mile race, both of them are good. I might go with the Hyperion Tempo on that one. Because I feel like, is the Hyperion Tempo lighter? I feel like it is. And I think I would prefer that upper on my feet for a 4-mile race. I think I might like that. But why not the Takumi Sens? You love the Takumi Sens. Is 4 miles of a race too long for it? Joey Del Rosario says, happy Friday. How's the knee doing? Looks like the same problem you had. And I've been running in Sauconys as well. Hopefully it can heal soon and get back out there and running again. Right now, the knee's feeling pretty good. I think that, I mentioned that my knee was kind of bothering me again. It did kind of flare up a little bit when I ran into Triumph 19. So I did feel that. But I think it's not exactly the same as what kind of bothered me last year. Because right now I feel that part of me is like, did I hyperextend my knee at some point? Because sometimes like if I like step wrong, like yesterday I was closing the back trunk thing for the car and my hand slipped and then my knee kind of like foot like extended out to like kind of catch myself when my hand slipped because I was like, pushing something heavy and then, I kind of moved forward a little bit and then like my knee like locked and then that like reminded me of that pain that I've been feeling from time to time. And so like, I don't know, maybe I just hyperextended my knee when I was doing a track workout, and it's something I've been keeping an eye on, but overall it feels pretty good right now. I think this triathlon training has made me do a lot of cross training, which has kind of taken some of the some of the impact off the knee. And so I think that's also been helping as well. But hopefully you can if you got something similar to what I had, Joey, do that mobility work, get that tendon massaged, and then also, put some good load on it to stimulate some healing in that area. All right, Speedy Boy says, hey, Kofuzi, ran at 19:15 for a time trial Monday. Nice. He has 10 more weeks for the training plan. Do you think I could beat my PR of 17:50? I don't know. That's a long way to go. And I feel like that's a distance to travel. But if you've been at 17:50 before, it's not unprecedented territory for you. So for a 10-week plan, I mean, if someone told me they went from a 19:15 to a 17:50 in 10 weeks, I'd say that's pretty amazing. But you've been there before. It's your 1750 is your PR. So I would say if you have a really smooth buildup, I think you could do it. I think you could do it. Let us know how it goes in 10 weeks. All right. Martha says about that Takumi-san. Having done a 5K in the Takumi-san, I'm looking to try something different. Okay, there you go. 5K is probably the max for them. And this race has a fair amount of downhill, so I want more cushion. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you're talking about some downhill too, that leads me towards the speeds. I feel like it's going to be a little bit just more softness in a way that I think will be beneficial than the Hyperion tempo. Yeah, it's a tough decision, I think. Oh, and Adam wants to know, how is the Achilles? It feels great, except for when I'm coming up and down stairs. Then I kind of remember it. Doesn't hurt, but I remember it. On my run today, 11 miles, I found the dogs found me again. So I ran with 2 dogs for a while today. And I didn't think about it a single time. So like until you mentioned it, Adam, I kind of forgot that I had the Achilles thing going on. So yeah, I'm feeling confident in it. So like right now, I'm just trying not to overwork myself. I was thinking about maybe doing another track workout on Saturday. Instead, I think hopefully the Bondi X's come today. So I could take them out for a test run for tomorrow in the long run. I'll do a short track workout on Tuesday, and then I got the meet on Friday. So that's what I'm thinking is all I'll really need to do. And I think I'll be in decent shape for that. Now, Shannon asked yesterday at the way end of it, I didn't get to talk about it, is who's going to film the steeplechase? And I don't know. My brother-in-law mentioned that he might come over because he lives in the Marion area, which I don't think is that far from Ames. I don't think it's close, but I don't think it's that far. But he hasn't mentioned it again since, so I'm not going to like bug him on that. And then when we were in California, Jamie was like, maybe I'll come up to film your track meet. I'm like, you don't want to pay for a plane ticket to come up here and film a Masters steeplechase. So he said he would, but then he hasn't mentioned it. So I think, we were just spitballing. I don't think he was too serious about that. So I was thinking about maybe seeing if my wife could come up, take the day off on Friday to do it, but I don't know. It just might not get filmed. I don't know. Yeah, it's been, decades since I've been to a track meet. So like, I'm not sure like how much filming I'll be able to do leading up to the race or whatever. I don't think I'm going to have an opportunity to like, discreetly set a camera like to the side of the track somewhere or anything like that either. So like, I don't know what I'm going to do for filming that, but it's going to be in about a week. So I guess a week from today. So we'll see what happens. All right, Miles 62 Running Channel says, I think Ryan Smith will surprise everyone. He won Leadville and got top 10 at UTMB, and he's running with Francois at the moment. Yeah, I think that like it's, this race is very different than some of the other ones that I've kind of been watching. And so like, I think people that have done well at UTMB, courses that are much more technical and have much more climbing, are going to be better suited for this race than say people that did well at Western States. But we're edging very close to kind of the limits of my knowledge of ultra running. So, I don't want to get over my skis, so to say, so to speak. But yeah, I think that like, the names that I recognize are probably not going to be the names that win is what I'm thinking. But I do think Jamil is running this year. So I'm excited to see like if he's just running or if he's making a video or what. So I'm pretty interested in that from a selfish perspective because I just like watching his race videos. All right. Stevie76 coming in with the super chat saying, congrats on 80K. Thanks so much, Stevie. It's been great to have you along for this journey. All right. Let's see. Brendan said, I'll come down and film it. Definitely work the 2-week quarantine in a hotel when I return. I'm not sure it is. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think maybe I can convince my wife to film it for her, because then I could be like, Harry, then you just hold this camera with the big lens. I'll bring the tripod, just spin it around back and forth, so you can catch it. And then maybe I'll do one of those things that all the fast running YouTubers do, the pros, and like narrate a race. Maybe we'll do it that way. All right, Rebecca J says, hi all, running my first 50K in September, mostly gravel with a bit of level B road. Not sure what shoes to use. FYI, I'm not speedy at all. Any recommendations appreciated? For the 50K and for that kind of terrain, I mean, I think there's a lot that you can do if it's mostly gravel with a bit of level B road. So a lot of options are open to you. But I would say the shoes that I saw most frequently when I did my 50K, which did have some, I don't think there was any gravel road, but there was some gravel road. And not a lot of it wasn't super technical. But for that one, a lot of people wore the Hoka Mafate, the Hoka Speed Goat. I saw some Challenger ATR, so a lot of Hokas and a lot of Ultras. The Ultra Lone Peak, saw some Olympus out there as well. Those are probably like the main ones that I would think of, and also the ones that I saw out there. So people are looking for a lot of cushion generally, and it seems, and some lugs just in case. But like, if you don't need so many lugs, that could open up some room for you too. Because I would think that like something like a peg trail would do really well in that situation. So if that's something else that's interesting to you, then something you can go with for sure. But good luck on that 50K in September. Sam Hawk says, Kofuzi, will you be doing a shakeout meetup at CIM? Einstein to 2. Yeah, I'm thinking so, because I'll need to do a shakeout run anyway. So it probably won't be like the most scenic route, but it'll probably be a very practical route. Maybe something that like we do it and then pick up bibs or something like that. Just because I'm not familiar with the area or the layout of the race. This will be my first time trying it. I'll, as we get closer, I'll start kind of thinking about that a little bit more. And then, if the weather's nice, you'll find me in the post-race area if there's beers. I think there's beers after that one, right? Yeah, so I'll be there too. So I think there'll be plenty of opportunities to hang out. So, all right. Tiba says, how accurate is the daily calorie tracking in Garmin and other fitness watches? I think that it depends. My understanding is the way that fitness watches track calorie burn is by like your weight and your heart rate. So like it tracks like the amount of time you've been doing an activity, maybe adjusting it depending on what the activity is. Like say you're doing like a weightlifting activity versus a running activity, but also it measures like the heart rate and the duration. And if you're not getting a good heart rate from your wrist, which I have a hard time with it doesn't really work well for me. I think it's partially my skin tone, but I think more about my bone structure. I need an external heart rate monitor. So if you have an accurate heart rate reading, then I think it can be pretty good based on like generic tables of like, well, if you are 5'10" and weigh this many pounds and, are doing this much activity based on your age, then, there's like I think there's like tables and formulas. So I think however accurate those tables are is how accurate the fitness watches are. That's my understanding. Yeah, Ricky McLean expressing his love for the Hoka Evo Speed Goat for a 50K. And he's done 3 50K races in them and a 50-mile race on a mix of terrain from trails to gravel roads. There you go, nice. And the Evo Speed Goat, that's what Walmsley wore for 2 of his 3 Western States wins. So there's that. You'd be in good company. And Brendan wants to know, have I tried the Rebel 2 yet? I still haven't tried that one. I'll get to it soon. I'm finishing up a couple of shoes, so I'm trying to make room in the closet. And also, like I don't really need the Rebel 2 right now. Once I start focusing a little bit more on Chicago, which will be soon, I need to start thinking about it kind of starting next week, because we'll be like 12 weeks out next week, I think. It's coming up fast. So yeah, that's when I'll really start needing it a little bit more. All right, Andrew says, hi, Kofuzi. I'm reading 80-20 running. I don't know if you've read the book, but my easy pace is faster than the pace I think is easy, heart rate wise. Example, my heart rate is lower at 730 than 9 minute per mile pace. I have read 80-20 well. I listen to it on audiobook. I don't really read books. But the easy pace is faster than the pace I think is easy heart rate wise. I don't understand how your heart rate would be lower at 730 per mile than at 9 minute per mile pace. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I would double check your heart rate readings, but I think generally most people's what is supposed to be easy by heart rate is a lot slower than they think it should be. So that's a general kind of like thing that a lot of people experience. All right. Yeah, everyone getting very excited about the fact that my wife might be the one filming me in the chat. I'm going to say my wife again. All right. Bern Dasbrot says, yo, Kofuzi, what shoes are in your rotation right now? I brought with me to Iowa the Noblast 2, but I just finished running in those. The 1080 version 11, because I wanted to finish running in those. I ran that's what tomorrow's video will be about, 1080 version 11 at 100 miles. I also have the Lone Peak 5 and the Hoka Zinal with me, as well as the Fresh Foam More version 3 and my spikes, and then the Puma Deviate Nitro. So those are the ones in my rotation right now. So the Deviate Nitro is kind of carbon, but no carbon plated shoes because I'm not really doing marathon training right now. So those are the shoes that I have for now. I should be getting a Rincon and a Bondi X any day now. So the Rincon 3 I'm looking forward to because that I could put some speed work in, and then the Bondi X, I'm just super curious about it. So we'll see. So those will be in my rotation for now. And Thomas Bach Peterson says, what's your top 3 running shoes right now? It's probably like Novablast 2, Mach 4, and then like Metaspeed Sky. Like I really like those shoes. Those shoes that I think are fun. All right. Ray the Solar is a happy jogger. He's got his 10K tomorrow. Wish me speed, guys. Weapon of choice, Razor 3+. So good luck. Good luck to you, Ray. You'll have to let us know how it goes tomorrow. Simon Gersdorf says, what are the most minimal models you would run a flat road marathon in? I don't like minimalist shoes or like, low stack height shoes for a road marathon just because, it takes me a little bit more than 3 hours to do it. So, or some, depending on the day, it takes me a lot longer than 3 hours to do it. So that's a lot of road impact. I think that I ran in the Hoka Carbon Rocket, the first one. I guess there was only one because then they went from the Rocket to the Rocket X. But I ran the Rocket. That was a 26 millimeter shoe, I think, with a 1 millimeter drop. But that carbon was great. Super bouncy, super springy. And my feet were pretty angry by the end of that. So I'd say that's probably as low as I've gone. And I don't really care to go much lower than that. Yeah. Well, Martha says, for right now, there's fires where CIM starts. Good thing it's in December. Yeah. There's fires everywhere right now, right? It's crazy. It's going to be hopefully it's not going to be too crazy of a year fire-wise, but everyone seems to be saying it's going to be pretty intense. So I'm worried about that. All right, Innes is here, and he's in his last day of isolation. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are making it through it, Innes. So looking forward to tomorrow for you guys. And Ricky McLean says, I'm curious how the Rincon 3 will compare to the Rebel 2. Yeah, those are two. Maybe I should get the Rebel 2 a little bit earlier than planned so I can make that comparison. That's a good one to compare, I think. I'm interested because they said they made the Rincon lighter. So, and then they made the foam more closer to what you would experience in like a Clifton in terms of the foam response. It's not going to feel like a Clifton because it's a Rincon, but so it'll be interesting to see that. I was at this kind of like press briefing kind of thing for the Rincon 3, and some of the designers were on there, and I always kind of like to troll at some of these things, but this time I decided not to. Like the last time I went to one of these, it was for the Clifton 7. I don't think I did. I went to one for the Clifton 8. I think I went to one for the Clifton 7. And I was like, the questions I was asked is like, is it going to come in black, or is black going to be a launch colorway? And then Jamie was there, and he asked a question, and this is all in the chat. And Jamie asked a question of, I'm not much of a runner. I'm more of an elite jogger. Like, is this going to be good for joggers? And then the person like tried their best to answer the question seriously, which was very funny because I don't think he realized that Jamie was trolling him. But and then we got in trouble for that. And someone was like, well, we got some of our YouTubers here who are having fun with the questions. But I really wanted to ask like what was going on with that pull tab on the Rincon 3, because right now it's just like a little like piece of not even paracord. It's just like a tiny piece of like stretchy cord. And I'm like, why didn't you just get rid of it? Whereas like I'm thinking the Rincon 4, there's not going to be a pull tab on the back. That's what I'm thinking. So that's right now, that's the most pressing question I have about the Rincon 3 is what's going on with that pull tab? Is it going to break? Because here's what happened. There's a white hat on the Hoka website, not the bucket hat, but there's a white one, and it has a weird kind of like bungee cord kind of mechanism in the back to tighten it, and mine ripped. Not the bungee cord, but where the bungee cord gets sewn into the hat, it fell out. So I had to get rid of that hat. And I'm wondering if it's that same kind of bungee cord and if it's sewn in with similar thoroughness, let's say. So a lot of questions about that pull tab. That's like, I'm obsessed with it right now. All right. I'm sure that's not what you were worried about, Ricky, but yeah, that's where my mind went. Sorry. Yeah, Stephen Gersdorf says calorie burn isn't directly related to heart rate. There is metabolic calorie burn that goes on well after your run is over. Yes, I know, but I think that like a lot of watches will tell you how many calories you burn during your activity, and I'm not sure how else they would get that information, unless they're just going strictly upon like there are some tables that are like running for an hour is this many calories. So if you ran 45 minutes, we'll just give you 75% of that. So I hope it's a little bit more sophisticated than that. But I'm not sure exactly how I've never asked exactly how calorie burn is calculated. Maybe I should ask that. All right, let's scroll down a little bit further. Stevie 76 says, Hez kicks, will the Rincon 3 be good for going to the grocery? I think that's so funny. But I also love Hez Kicks. So I haven't watched a lot of Hez Kicks videos lately, but I mean, there was a time where I was probably watching as much Hez Kicks as I was watching Ginger Runner. And this was years ago because there just wasn't a ton of other just shoe content out there. But he knows what he's doing. And I mean, he's one of the guys that I was watching. He's like, look, this guy, I think this guy just goes to the mall in his shoes. I think that's the only thing he does in his. But like, yet he's still showing us actual footage of him with the shoe on. And sometimes he shows it to you with jeans on because he's like, I know some of you guys want to see it with jeans on. So I got some footage of me with jeans on. And I'm like, see, this guy's giving the people what they want. Showing people, not just holding the shoe for people, he's wearing it for people. And I'm like, that's something that there needs to be more of that in like shoe YouTube. So, as much as I like think it's amazing to like kind of like tease like has Kicks as Seth Fowler and Foamy Simpson, like they also like have great channels and know what they're doing and like just amazing. I'm super big fans. a super big fan of them. I put the plural in the wrong spot. All right, AZ went on a barefoot run on grass today, and the feet felt so good. Any recommendation for plantar pain? You know, I'm not sure about that. I know I've been watching all of Emily Heller's like Chicago like weekly training recap videos. I just love watching those for some reason. I don't know. It's very soothing. But she keeps talking about this plantar pain that's coming up. So like, I think she'd be a great person to ask because she's been going through it, or like she's hoping to avoid going through it again. And then I know Seth has had that issue a couple of times, and he does a lot of PT for his. There was a way that he would say that he would tape his foot and ankle in a certain way that would take a lot of the pressure off too. So that might be good to kind of go look at for his. And then he does this other exercise where he puts a towel on the floor, and then he uses his foot to curl up the towel underneath the arch. And that is supposed to be like a good exercise for it. And then I was seeing on, I'm not sure where they put it, but Doctors Are Running did something where that like LEP system, or like that kind of like torsion plate fork that Adidas puts in their shoes, they say it functions a lot like the plantar fascia. And so I don't know if that like would help someone that's experiencing plantar pain to be able to try maybe running in a running shoe, Adidas running shoe, you know. So some ideas for you. All right. Daniel Horak says, New Balance Fuel Cell RC Elite 2. Have you tested? I'm wondering if those are the ones. I haven't tested those yet, but you know, I talked to like everyone I believe in the run is really big on those. And everyone that I had a conversation with pretty much everyone I believe in the run. I'm like, oh, you haven't tried the RC2 Elite 2 yet? I think you're really gonna like them. And so I'm super excited for it. It's one of those shoes where, well, there's two shoes that I'm waiting for from Roadrunner Sports. They said they were gonna send me one of those, and then I bought myself a pair of Peg 38s. I think both of them just keep getting back ordered for some reason. I keep getting emails. I don't get emails about the RC Elite 2, but keep getting emails about my Peg 38s that like the date keeps slipping. I ordered them like 2 months ago, so like I still don't have them yet. So I think maybe I just need to buy a pair of the white ones because I really like those white ones. So we'll see. Chandler Rodriguez says, hey, from Austin, Co, you doing a group run for CIM? I think I'll be there, and I think it would be fun. Yeah, someone else was mentioning that earlier today, and so I haven't made any plans for it yet, but there will be some sort of shakeout, or try to figure out something like about 3 miles, super easy. Right now I'm thinking like if we could do it somewhere near kind of where packet pickup would be, just to make it super convenient for everyone. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but stay tuned for that. As we get closer, I'll start to kind of put more together. It'll be an interesting week for me because the running event, there's like a big like retail running convention that's in Austin every year. I don't know if it's always in Austin, but it's been in Austin every year that I've known of it. This year, I was supposed to go last year, but that I had to not last year. Last year they didn't have one. The year before that I was supposed to go. I got media credentials for it, and then like work came up, so I couldn't go at the last minute. So I was super bummed because I feel like they initially didn't give me a media credential, and I was like, "Are you sure, guys? Can I have one, please?" Like I emailed them, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And they were like, "Fine, we'll give you one." And then I ended up not going. And then so this year I'm gonna go, but it's the week of CIM. So I'll be in like Austin from like Tuesday to like Thursday maybe. And then like Saturday, I think is CIM, or Sunday, one of those days. So I'm just gonna go from Chicago to Austin to Sacramento back to Chicago. So it'll be a fun week. Although like the week before that, I think is Thanksgiving. So I'll go from like New Vienna here to Chicago to Austin to Sacramento to Chicago. So it'll be a lot of all over the place. It'll be fun. And let's see. Brenner Dre says about Emily Heller, it's been nice to follow her training. Great videos. Yeah, I just do like, I like her videos. And Rob says he switched to the Boston 9 because he's having a plantar fasciitis flare up himself. And his thinking is less cushioning, but not sure if that's the right answer. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I'm not sure what causes it. I should research that a little bit more. But foam rolling and stretching is key, though, for the plantar fasciitis. Okay. Good to know. But Steven says when he went to 0 drop, it stopped his plantar pain. I wonder, yeah. I think that there's some people that say like excessive heel drops can also exacerbate it. But I think at least with Emily's situation, going to shoes that are more stability oriented for her seem to help. So I don't know if that's going to be an ultimate solution or if that just is working for now. But we'll hopefully it goes well for all you guys with the PF. CB76 thinks that my Peg 38 is stuck in the Suez. It could be. They only just recently released that boat, didn't they? Like they came to a settlement, right? Because they were suing that boat for like, or the company of the Ever Given for like $900 million or something like that, because of all the, basically like the shipping fiasco that it created. I bet you it is on that boat. Can you imagine if there's a shipping container with my RC Elite 2s and my Peg 38s? That makes a lot of sense, Stevie. I'm thinking that's where they are. But like, I don't know. Maybe that cargo is still impounded and they haven't, I don't know. Well, I think you're right. I think you're right. Man, I love that ship. That story was so fun. I love that story. Jason says he just got his though. And it sounds like they just came back in stock. It was the black with the white edging around the swoosh, if that helps. The one that I picked is black and gray. So like it's very similar to the one that I made with the Nike For You, that one. So like it's almost the exact same colors. That's the reason why I'm waiting for that one, because then I could say like an off the shelf version and then the one that I designed, which happens to look exactly like off the shelf, to see if there's any difference. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm glad you got yours, Jason, though. That's good. Chandler says, got you on any food spots in Austin while you're here. All right, we'll see. I don't know how much time I'm actually going to spend at this TRE event. You know, a lot of people are there, but like I don't think I'm gonna. There's like talks and seminar stuff that you can go to, but I think that's more for if you're a retailer. So from a media perspective, like I'm gonna wander the floor a little bit, try to talk to some people at the different brands, see what's coming, see what they'll let me kind of take pictures of in terms of shoes that are coming out for the following year. But then like, I don't think I need to be there like all day. So like, I'm not, it'll be interesting to see what's there, but I think a lot of people will be in town. So like, I'm going to try to convince everyone that we should do a big group run. So, you know, let's stay tuned for that. We'll see. All right. Brendan says, Blacktail Running contacted Nike to replace my faulty Alpha Flies with the new Raudacious colorway. Nice. Not sure if I'm as fond of it as I was with my precious turquoise blue, but excited to see it in person. I do like the Raudacious ones. Brendan, is Blacktail Running a big company? Because there's someone whose YouTube channel that I watch. Her name is, I think, Amy Spur Cavaney, and she is a pretty fast runner, but she's a non-elite, and she works at a Blacktail Running. I'm not sure if it's the same city as where you are, but I don't know if you know her. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm just going to assume Canada is one little place where everyone knows each other. So I'm going to just throw that out there. But she makes some YouTube videos. You just check her out. I don't know if she's local to you. I want to say she's more towards the eastern part of the country than the western part. I don't remember where she is. But I think she works at Blacktail Running. So maybe you know her. All right, Mark Ingram says, any news or plans for the tri-bike? Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see if someone would lend me one, like a brand would lend me one, but I haven't heard back. So I'm starting to think that it's maybe a no. So I think once like my track meet is over next week, then I'll start to really focus on, where am I going to secure a road? I'm going to try and find a road bike to just hop on. Adam says about that Ever Given that they paid an undisclosed amount, to release the ship a couple of weeks ago. All right, well, in that situation, then my shoes should be here by now. We'll see. We'll see. Adam says the hard thing about the TRE event for you is time on feet. I'm a little bit concerned about that. And Thomas was telling me that some of the brands put on like parties in the evening. And so I'm like, oh, that's going to be tempting. So like, it'll be a little bit of a gauntlet, I think. So I'm really going to have to be very careful about how I'm spending my energy for those couple of days. But overall, I think it'll just be a lot of fun. So just try to make sure I don't overdo it. It's the big thing that I'm worried about. Karen says, hi, Kofuzi. What is the best 5K, 10K shoe that came out for 2021? I think I just saw that Eilish McColgan has been running in it for a while, but she actually like made a post about it specifically. I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically like, it looks like a Metaspeed Sky mixed with a Meta Racer, and then it's got lots of like nubby grippy parts so you can run with it on the track. That's probably, but it's not a spike. I don't think it's a spike. That'll probably be a fantastic 5K, 10K shoe. I don't know if that's out. I don't think it's out yet, but I think that's what she's going to be racing in. So I'm super excited to see if that ends up being released to like for regular people to buy. I mean, beyond just like kind of like whatever they need to sell to satisfy like the Olympic or like the WAA rules. But let me think of what's the other best 5K, 10K shoe. I don't know. There aren't a lot of like for 5K, 10K, I tend to think lower stack height is great. And the shoes that I wouldn't want to run a marathon in. But even now, the shoes that I wouldn't want to run a marathon in are still pretty tall stack height, like the Endorphin Pro, for example. I think the Metaspeed Sky might be the best 5K, 10K shoe out there right now for 2021. I'm trying to think, what am I missing? Because like I do like the Meta Racer, but that came out last year. I love the Meta Racer for 5K, 10K. And something like the Speed Elite from Skechers, I think also would be right in that 5K, 10K region. But they made a new version that's thicker stack height. I don't think that's still a Speed Elite though. It's something else, right? And is that out yet? I'm not sure from Skechers. So there's a couple of things that are out there, but I don't feel like a lot of the shoe companies are really paying a ton of attention to the 5K, 10K right now. I mean, unless you count like the Dragonfly, but yeah, I don't know. Christian Cardenas says, gonna test out the flip out water bottle in a bit. Nervous after you said it keeps falling out. Yeah, I've been running with it since the initial test. With it, just you flip the belt over, like the name says, flip belt. And because someone like said that in the comments of that video that I made, and I was like, yeah, I get it. You're supposed to flip the belt over, and then the water bottle doesn't fall out. But it's really annoying to get in and out if you're doing the flip. It takes a lot more time. But I guess then the water bottle doesn't fall out. So for an easy run today, flip the belt over. And so basically when you put the water bottle in, you put it so that you put it in kind of backwards almost. So that way when you flip it over, the curve is correct to the curvature of your back. But, it's not, I really would love like just one-handed and then grab it out and put it back. But I don't think I'm going to really be able to get that. Tomorrow's run, which is going to be a longer run, anything over like 10 miles, I think. Well, today was like 11, and the flip out water bottle was enough for a hot day. I think longer than that, I just think I'm going to go with the hydration vest. I guess I'm kind of giving up. I still have a couple more belts I want to test, but flip belt is nice. It's probably like the best compromise. And then when those compromises are too compromising, then I go with the vest, I guess. All right, let's do a couple more, and then I gotta go. Today's gonna be another swim day for us, family-wise, and my wife has summer hours for work, so she's gonna be able to go swimming today too. And I think Grandma and Grandpa are coming. Well, I don't know about Grandpa, but Grandma's coming too. So we'll have a bigger crew. But the cousins, some of the cousins are gone. They're at a baseball tournament or a softball tournament out of town. In Des Moines, I want to say. So the cousins aren't there, but you know, we lost some cousins, but we gained a grandma and a mom. So a little bit of a different lineup for the pool today. Garrett Meek says, tuned in late, so I'm not sure if it's been asked, but have you seen the new Mizuno shoe with the fiberglass reinforced nylon plate, the Wave Rebellion? Looks kind of interesting. I saw it in Baltimore because they had like a blow up version of it. I don't think I saw it like put together as a shoe, but I saw the blow up of it. Like, so I got to like hold the nylon or that plate. I got to hold the outsole and all the other different parts of it. When I was upstairs at Believe in the Run. I don't know if I was supposed to see those or not, but they left them out. So it's an interesting idea. I think they want to position that as like an endorphin speed competitor. But I think everyone with the general consensus seemed to be like the drops seemed to be really weird. So, you know, Mizuno always has really tall drops. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested. I'm like, my eye is on it. We'll have to see what ends up happening with it though. And Wicked World ASL Rock says, have you tried the Solomon Pulse Belt? I've looked at that one, but I remember the water bottles are real small. So I was like, oh, I don't know. But, you know, the Flip Belt water bottle is only like, it's like actually like 11 and a half ounces. So like, that's pretty small too, but it can usually last me for like an hour and 40 minutes is about kind of pushing it for about how long I can go with that one if I'm doing an easy pace. So like maybe the Pulse Belt will work. Maybe it'll work. So the ones that I'm thinking of looking at are the Naked Belt. And then there's another one that keeps coming up in the comments. I'll have to go kind of review them to remind myself what it is. But I probably have enough like patience for like 2 more reviews of those. And that's where I'll be. All right. Anthony says, the comments on the Johnson & Johnson video are quite strange to say the least. The conspiracy theorists are flocking to it. Let me tell you what, and this will probably be a good place to end for today. You know, I didn't think that video would get the traction that it did. I just thought it would be interesting for you guys as other runners to like see like, you know, here's, you know, everyone seems to think that like runners are either immune to it or won't get that bad symptoms. But like my symptoms weren't bad, but like, you know, they were interfering, you know, like I had to kind of like take a day off. Well, I mean, not that I work, but like I was out of commission for like a day. But like lately, like every single comment, every once in a while, the comments on there will be like, yeah, my symptoms were pretty similar to yours. I feel great now. But like for the most part, they run the gamut of conspiracy theory, crazy, like just everything from like anti like science, anti-medicine at all, very like strangely religious. Everything's very patronizing and demeaning and nasty. So like right now, of the new comments that come in on the channel, because I use the YouTube studio to watch it, like half the comments that come in right now are from that video, and they're all just crazy. Like they're just I mean, the ones that are super crazy, I just delete. So of the ones that you're seeing, Anthony, there's worse that are out there. So like that video is giving me a lot of headaches, but I don't want to like take it down. But on the other hand, I'm just like, it's getting a lot of interaction, I guess. But a lot of it is very trying. So yeah, so that's it. All right. Pete G says, hey, Kofuzi, sorry late to the party. How's it going? We're overall doing great. You guys are listening to me vent a little bit about the comments on that Johnson & Johnson video that I made, but overall things are going great. I'm gonna leave it there for today, guys. I got some kids and some other family members I gotta take to the pool, so I'm pretty excited about that because it's nice and hot, so it's gonna be a great pool day. Looking forward to it. Tomorrow's video is gonna be about the 1080 version 11 after 100 miles, and then I won't see you again live stream wise till next Monday. So have a good weekend, guys. Till I see you again, be safe out there. Thanks.